TRISHA Paytas acting weird around her daughter. Well, we have a video that recently surfaced, and when I watched it, I was like, you know what? I have a lot to say. And I'm going to show you a little clip of it. I think it's about a minute long, so bear with me before I get started. Please leave a like, leave a comment. I can't get a like to save my life. And I'm going to defend TRISHA, and I'm not going to defend TRISHA, and I'll defend her and then not defend her. And what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. It's just how I see things, right? I think that TRISHA, at the end of the day, is, before I play the clip, I think that she is doing the best she can as a mom. I think a lot of us watching this video are probably doing the best we can in our everyday lives. So who are we to judge? Who am I to judge? But it's open to criticism. You post stuff online, people are going to talk about it. So I just want to put that out there. The clip I'm about to play you, in my opinion, TRISHA, watching her for so long online, she just, in this video, she seems kind of like apprehensive. She seems awkward around her daughter. And I'm going to tell you why before I play the full clip. I feel like TRISHA is somewhat like me and a lot of other successful people I know, is that they love to be in control and know what's going on. Children are unpredictable. Pets are unpredictable. Maybe that's why she didn't want the cats, right? But I just feel like she was kind of hesitant. What is this child going to say on camera? Because I don't know how to react back. Because the child could say anything, you know? I mean, let me play you the clip. Grab a snack. Come on back. Leave a like. Here we go. Roll it.
I'm back again. I'm back to eat my burger and corn.
You got both. He's so excited.
How about cooking outside?
Yeah, by the pool.
He could get outside.
Mm-hmm.
He could get inside.
Outside.
Oh.
Are you excited for your birthday?
Yeah!
How old are you going to be? Yeah, you're going to be 3 years old. Yeah. You want your burger?
Sure.
Sure.
You want some ketchup on your hamburger?
Do I want ketchup on my hamburger? Well, my burger's in my belly. I already ate it. But you have ketchup on yours.
Is it big?
My belly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of full right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you haven't eaten. You gotta...
We have a baby Minnie Mouse.
I definitely don't have a baby in there.
Oh.
He's out. Baby Minnie Mouse will just have to be your stuffed animal. No babies.
No. I was in Mommy Tell Me.
Yeah, you were.
I was in Mommy Tell Me.
You were too. We all talked to you through Mommy Tummy.
And I was in Mimi's tummy.
And Mommy went in Mimi Tell Me.
Yeah. Why don't you eat your burger? Right. Well, you take your time, Sweet Muffin. We're going to say bye to them. Thanks for watching and having lunch with us. We will see you real soon. What's that? What's that from? Okay, bye.
Hold on. We're back. Grab a snack. Hello? Yes, it's the network. Leave a like. Yes, I'm letting you know. They're going to cancel the show if you guys don't leave a like and leave a comment. The algorithm, guys. Yes, TRISHA Paytas and the Okay. Thank you so much. See you later, guys. All right, so today I have on no makeup at all because I went and I got a laser treatment. It was like I call it Cool Peel CO2 laser. Okay, got it on my face here. Check it out. I liked it. At Juvan MD, the doctor. Great experience. They took care of me there. And I partnered up with them, and I'm really excited. Hashtag ad if you want to put all that. But I got a facial laser. My face hurts. I can barely feel it. My lips hurt, so I got, you know, that, the whole filler, the Botox, and my whole face is just feel like I got punched in the face. So I'm trying to keep it cool and not put on any makeup for the next couple of days. And it feels like sandpaper right now because it's healing. It's called biohacking. It's when you cause trauma to a certain area so it can reproduce skin cells and collagen. It's biohacking. Anyways, back to Trisha Paytas. When I saw the clip, she did, and obviously there's other people around her. I think just by the sound of the voice, it seemed like her sister was around, her mom was around. They probably help out with the kids. Trisha seemed like she didn't want to get pregnant again. Trisha, honestly, she seemed tired. Like this is a lot. Like toward the end of that video, when I looked at it, I felt like, damn, she seems tired. Like just at the end, it just kind of felt like, damn, this is my life, man. I got 3 kids. I'm married. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of gig I got, right? When I watched it, I was like, damn, I can't relate. I cannot relate to that. And you know, recently I went over to my brother's house because we were hanging out for my mom's 26th anniversary as being an RN nurse. We had this huge party for her. So after that, I went to his house.
Thank you. Oh my God.
And he has three kids, and I was like, damn. Like I haven't been to that house in forever. There was toys everywhere. There was rooms dedicated just to toys and slides and games, and I'm just like, this used to be your little man cave. This used to be your little gaming setup and stuff, you know? And now it's a kid's playroom. And then there's just toys everywhere. And I was just like, damn. I can't relate. Glad I'm not in that boat. Listen, I love kids, but I'm just too selfish to have kids. No. Listen, if I had a kid, I probably would have a nanny, straight up. I'm just keeping it real. I'm using Resto Pro hand cream. I got this in PR. Supposedly it helps with like fine lines and wrinkles and brown spots, I think is what it's called. I don't have any of that because I just take really good care of myself, or just I'm not there yet in age. But they sent this to me, and then when I saw the claims, I was like, oh, let's try it out. So I've been trying it for the last couple of days. I also have the whole face regimen of Resto. They only sell this stuff inside doctor's offices, like Beverly Hills, medical clinics, you know, facials and stuff. They sell like this face wash and face creams there. So I was like, oh, wow. So they sent that to me. I've been using it for a couple of days. So I want to do like a really good review. But I have paused because of the lasers I got. And I'm keeping it real, guys. I'm not going to come back and be like, oh my God, it changed my skin. I have my opinions already from when I was using it prior to the laser. I'm excited to use it after too. Anyways, back to Trisha. Just shout out to Resto. This is what it looks like. If you ever go to a dermatologist's office or a Beverly Hills doctor and you see Resto, this stuff's really good so far. I like it, but I stopped using it because, you know. Anyways, I'm going to do a full review on TikTok with that. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Trisha Paytas. In the video, she just came across like, I don't know what this child is going to say. Is she going to bring up like mommy and daddy arguing? Is she going to bring up the fact that she didn't get her toy today and I was mean to her? And it's one of those things. It's like that scene in, think of a Sex and the City. Whenever the mom, the kid is crying and wants something, and the mom just has a mental breakdown and goes into the closet and shuts it, and she's in there just crying. And then she has to take a moment for herself, and she comes out and she's like, okay. Like, I could see Trisha literally being like, this is a lot. Moses is gone. the kids, there's a lot going on right now. I got all this stuff to do. I'm going to cry. And then the little kid's like, why were you crying, mommy? And it's being live streamed. And then Trisha then has to say, well, you know, what are you going to do? It just seems like that. Like you don't know what the child is going to say. So I do think that there are stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about between Trisha and Moses and how they're raising the kids, or what if the kid says, are you going to watch Rich Love's videos today? Are you going to watch Avery today? You know what I'm saying? What if the kid says that? You know what I'm saying? It was also like the time whenever Kim Kardashian was at home in her bed and then her daughter walks in there live streaming and you see Kim Kardashian laying in the bed, toda aplastada, marrana, all in there just eating snacks, and she's like, get off the phone, get off the phone. You guys remember that? That was like a thing that happened. So it's kind of like that, you know? And when I watched the video, like, I was just like, damn. Like, Trisha did look tired. Like, this is the one, like, is Trisha gonna snap back and get snatched again? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all that. Or, I mean, she's put a lot of wear and tear in her body with those 3 kids. Like, back to back to back. On top of, like, not being able to have kids. Remember, then you have that whole debate, you know? And also, because I remember her saying, you know, I had hooked up with so many
I was
guys.
infertile. I struggled with like fertility, and I was infertile for literally like probably 14 years. I think 22 is when I actively was like trying to get pregnant. I have no shame in these videos, okay? I know there's a lot of reasons for people to shame me or judge me. Whatever, at this point, like, whatever. I was very actively, more or less, trying to get pregnant, sometimes with relationships, sometimes not even. I just really, really wanted a baby, and to me, it wasn't even about the guy. It was just kind of like, if I got pregnant, I wouldn't even tell. Maybe I would tell the person, maybe I wouldn't, depending on who the situation was, but, you know, that was the mentality of me at 20 years old. Obviously, not right, not mature, but that was what I was actually thinking. I just really wanted a baby, and I was just kind of like, how it happens. I was always very honest about not being on birth control. There were times where I would try being on birth control, but I was always very honest. And I was like, and towards the later 20s, early 30s, I'm like, I can't do birth control. It's not for me. It was never a trap situation. It takes 2 to make a baby, right? Anyways, I had chlamydia that I left twice. That I left. It was basically undiagnosed for like a year. So it sat in my body, it scarred up my tubes. It was really bad. I had 2 different, I guess ultrasounds, I guess that's what it is, that are like, you know, your tubes are really scarred. It's actually like gonna be hard for you to have a baby. Once I got into like different relationships where I was like, you know, maybe I want a baby and all stuff like that, they're just like, you know, like you could do, that's when I first found out about the HSG test. I was like 31, 30 or something like that. And they're like, yeah, your tubes are really scarred. When I was younger, the HSG test is a test that like shoots like liquid through your uterine, I don't know, something like that. It's a test for infertility, but also like clears out your tubes. 95% of women like get pregnant out of it. Like, anyways, that's how I got pregnant with my first 2. Yeah, up until then, like, couldn't. I actually tried it in another relationship, the HSG test, and it like didn't work. I didn't get pregnant. So again, I always believe in timing. I know not everybody wants to hear that, especially in a fertility journey, but I do believe God had timing for me, that he's like, actually wait, because I could not imagine having kids with anyone else other than my husband, especially now because my husband is like literally the best father in the whole world. He's so good. Haters would love to be like, oh, he's the mother, he's the nanny, he's the manny. No, he's just like a really amazing father. Sorry about your luck. But I met my husband. We were trying for kids before we got married. Nothing was working. When we got married, my husband was like, let's, you know, I told him about the HSG test. He's like, let's go, let's try it. Boom. Got pregnant right away. My second, we were just kind of trying for like a year. And then around the year mark, we're like, let's try the HSG test again, because I was 35 at that point, and my husband was 45. And we're like, we just want to get our 2 babies, you know, I guess like out of the way, you could say, just because I was getting older and he's getting older, and we're just like, let's just have them back to back, because, you know, we're older parents. And it took a few more months. It was the 3rd cycle I got pregnant. Amazing. We really were like fine at 2. Maybe in the back of my head and his head, we're like maybe 3, if like one time down the line, maybe at 40, I don't know. We'll get pregnant, we'll see. I had 2 baby names that I always loved, which was Malibu, Barbie, and Elvis. Elvis was like, obviously you think of Elvis as a boy name. I thought, okay, a boy and a girl. But when we had our second daughter, I was like, bingo, she's Elvis. If we never have another baby, we're blessed with these 2. We got Malibu, Barbie, and Elvis. You're good. Then I have my wonderful Elvis. 3 months later, we can have sex again. It's like 6 weeks, but I was going like 3 months. But, you know, my husband's birthday, I was like, heck yeah, let's get it in. I even look at the ovulation calendar, and I'm so far from ovulation, like literally so far. And I was like, period. Because I had TRISHA shows. I had a tour scheduled. I was like, maybe in 2026 we'll try and get pregnant or something, you know, tracking ovulation, that kind of stuff. I'm pregnant 3 months after. Both times were a C-section.
I can't have kids, whatever, mess me up so bad. And here she is, you guys.
The 1 hour mark.
Hi Trish, hi Tana, love you both. Trisha, congratulations on another pregnancy, so exciting. My question has to do with pregnancy and infertility. So my partner and I have been trying for over a year now, and it is so defeating. And I've been trying to be a manifestation queen like you, Trish, and, you know, visualize it and really believe to my core that I'm pregnant and it's happening, but I keep getting disappointed month over. And I guess I just need some advice on how do you stay positive in this journey. It's a tough one. Love you both. Bye.
She sounds so positive already because it's so hard. Oh, that's so hard. And it's the worst thing to hear. Like, it's such a hard thing to talk about this because people who struggle with infertility or trying to get pregnant, it's like the worst thing to hear. It happens when you least expect it or when you're not trying. You know, it's like, oh, like, off with that. And then sometimes it's the case, sometimes it's not. And it's just like, I was depressed for so long. I've been trying to get pregnant. I always talk about this. I'm very open about it. Like literally since I was like 23. That was the first time I knew I let people fully, I know we're not on Patreon, but just do it. And I always would let people because I just wanted to get pregnant. I didn't care if it was a one night stand, I didn't get whatever. Like, I was so desperate to be a mom. So literally my whole life since I was 23 years old, just raw dogging it, just trying to get pregnant. and sometimes I was with someone for a couple of years that I was like, ooh, I want a baby with this person for real. So I'd try extra hard. I'd do like the ovulation days and all this stuff.
You're
like
like upside down, like shaking
literally
it in.
Upside down. Yeah, all the time. Anything you tried, I would make sure it's ovulation day, the time, the stick, everything. So I was like peeing on the stick, ovulating, wasn't getting pregnant. It was like so crazy. And I was so sad. And for so long, I was just like, I'm never going to get pregnant. And I started saying that. I would say that to everyone. I had a boyfriend at 30. I was like, I can't get pregnant, so you can just do whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I would just start saying it to people. Moses, I can't get pregnant, so just whatever. And like, I think guys, either they did and believed, didn't care, or didn't believe me. So they were just like, whatever. But it was true. It was true. And then I would do the HSG test when I was in a relationship. It didn't work. So I was constantly saying I couldn't get pregnant, even to Moses. And like, I'm like, I just can't get pregnant. That's just what it is. And then like the minute I switched it, which again, if you're struggling with fertility, it doesn't happen for anyone, but she sounds like someone who believes in like manifestation. So I'm just telling you what works for me. The minute I switched it was like when we got married, and I was like, you know what? I see us having a baby. I see it happening. Cause I used to just spend all my money. I would spend all of it. I'd have like $100,000 to $200,000 in my bank account, spend it all. Like, I'm never gonna have kids, whatever. Me and Moses, when we got married, we did the Maldives, we did music videos. I think I blew $2 million that year, and that was my money. And then we went broke. I tell the story, and then I owed money to the IRS, and we had no money. But I was like, I don't have kids. It doesn't matter. But then when we got married, I was just like, no, I see myself having kids. Like, I see it, whatever. And then we did the HSG test, which is like a fertility treatment, and then got pregnant right away after that test. It clears your tubes or whatever. So that was cool. Second time too, it wasn't working. We were trying to get pregnant naturally, and then we did the HSG test again, got pregnant. And then all of a sudden I started being like, oh my gosh, like I remember we were talking about it after baby number 2, after Elvis, and I was just like, just inside me, you know, it was hard for us to get pregnant. We had the HSG test, like whatever. And Moses kept being like, no, I feel like you're a baby machine now. I feel like it's like a factory of babies coming out of you. I was like, that's so crazy. Like, and I was the one not believing it, but he was like manifesting this thing where I was just like, all of a sudden could like make all these babies. And then like literally like a baby came around 4 months later. I was like, what the hell? One time.
No way.
And it was one time it happened. Like, we literally had sex one time because it was 4 months postpartum. So I couldn't really have sex anyways. And I was still like bleeding and stuff. And it was like one time, and it just happened. Anyways, the point of all that is like, stay positive, because I would hear so many stories on TikToks of people who adopted like 3 kids and they were all adults. And then like, after those kids were adults, 20 years later, they had their own baby. You know what I mean? Aww. And they were like, so you hear those stories and you just have to believe that it's true. And I believe like it will happen. There's another TikToker I follow called Selena Spooky Boo. Have you seen her? Yeah, oh God, her fertility struggles are so sad. It's like her story. It was trigger warning, but like miscarriage after miscarriage and just like all this, like, and her partner went through so much stuff health wise. And anyways, they're having their first baby now via surrogacy, and she's so happy. And it's been, I don't know, like 15 years of her struggle. And you just see those stories and you're like, when there's a will, there's a way. If it's not meant for your body, I think you'll find it through something else. You know what I mean? Through your baby will come some other way. So you just got to stay positive, because I think the minute that you think negative, I always thought like I was unworthy of love. I always thought, since I was a stripper or prostitute, I was like, oh, I don't deserve love. And so I would say it. I was like, I don't deserve love. Like men are awful, whatever. And so like the minute you start thinking like I deserve it, which took me a while with Moses and like him sticking around, I was like, oh, maybe I do deserve this. Then you start like believing in it. So like your negativity, you're in your own way, basically. The negativity blocks anything. So just like we talk about it, just believe that you can do anything. Like I like 37 now, and I'm like the heaviest I've ever weighed, but it's like I still want to be an actress. And I was like, oh, I booked 3 TV shows acting this year. You know what I mean? And I was just like, it can happen. I think I was blocking myself for so long. Like, I can't act. I'm not an actress, whatever. And I don't know, just believing it.
Trisha
That's a lot.
Paytas Hackman. That was the most. I got chills 9 times. I teared up 3 times. I'm literally not kidding. That was so moving. And like, I can't imagine being that girl and hearing you like say all of that. Like, I feel like you just spoke the most immense amount of life into somebody who really needed it. And it moved me. And I don't know about in that world. And that it is just crazy. Like that it came to you exactly when it was supposed to. And that like all of that, I don't know, just feeling negative and down and like it's the end of the world and like it's never going to happen, and whatever ended up being so purposeful, and that it had to happen for this to happen. I don't know. That was just like
timing.
Damn.
It's all about timing. 14 years. I would consider 14 years of infertility. Fertility, for the record, by the way, is like, it's not sterile. Like sterile means like, you have your uterus out, you don't have eggs or something, you don't produce eggs. Infertility is going more than a year of trying to get pregnant, not being able to. So that's what defines infertility. So I was infertile for 14 years, and I had chlamydia untreated, which scarred my tubes. So that was like a big issue of my fertility. So it's a struggle for a lot of people, and just you gotta hang on, you gotta be positive. And
that's so crazy.
Yeah, thank God it happened when you did. I mean, I'm a lot older than I thought I was gonna be as a mom, but gosh, me being pregnant at 24 by the guy that I thought I was gonna would have been a disaster. Like those poor kids. I mean, I probably, like, not even being funny. And I kind of understand when people like, have to give their kids to their parents, because I had a dog that I couldn't take care of. So I gave it to my mom, that probably would have been me in my 20s, because I was so mentally unwell. And I know for like the well-being of the child, I would have had to give the child to someone else, because I could never have taken care of the child at 20 years old. There's just no way, or even 28 really, because I was so mentally unwell. So
wild how everything works out for a reason. And just like, it is crazy how you can actively say as well that the second that you switched your vibes, right? Like you're switched to like a positive pathway mentally about it, that everything ended up changing. It's so crazy. Yeah. And even that story is wild, adopting the kids, becoming fully grown, and then like ending up having a kid of your own. Like it is just
I see that a lot.
What's meant to be will be.
That's why I always never gave up hope, because I was like, God, I see that quite often. And I think Courtney and Travis talk about it too. They were doing IVF and gonna get pregnant, and then they just like stopped trying, and then they got pregnant. And it is one of those things that just happens. And like it's so annoying to hear when you're going through it, because it's like nobody wants to hear it, but there's so many stories like that. So
and now look at you like using all of that to speak life into so many people. And it's like, it's wild. It's just wild how everything does.
I don't, I guess that was all for, clicks and views and performative too.
I don't know how to not try to have babies, to not try to get pregnant. Like my whole life I've been trying to get pregnant since I was like 22, and I was told I was infertile. So I've always just whatever. I don't want to be graphic, but you know what I mean? Like I've always just been like, let's get pregnant by a random person down the street. It never happened for me. So I was just like, how do you try not to get pregnant now? Because we got pregnant twice. And I told Moses, it's really hard for me to get pregnant. Because he knows, right? Like it was hard for us to get pregnant. We had to do that HSG test. I'm like, it'll be fine. Because how do you...
It's, first of all, just my thoughts. It's wild that your body like almost knew and waited for like your soulmate.
Well, that I feel for sure, because that's why I was like way older. I was like 34 and 36 when I had my babies, but I was trying at like 20 to have like I've never, again, not to be graphic, but I've never had like protected sex. So I was just like, how have I not gotten pregnant? You know what I mean? And so then we got pregnant, and twice within like 2 years. So I'm like, now we're trying to like not get pregnant, but it's like
the second you're like, where's it gonna go?
That's how I feel. Like, are you gonna pull out like I'm freaking 18 years old? Like, I don't know, it's like weird. Like, and then you get a towel and just like run me off. I don't know.
I mean, were you like,
how do you not get pregnant?
Everything I'm gonna say is so graphic, but whatever.
I know.
Like when before Elvis, like were you like trying? Like was he like really up in there
every day?
Like what if it was just like a little?
No. everything, hold it in there. He like hold it in for like 30 minutes, like just like, is it all in there? Like upside down. We were throwing my feet over my head, like everything. And literally,
Well, now maybe like stand up right after.
just pee. Can you pee it out?
You could probably like push it out.
I don't think that
Right?
works. That's not good sex.
Oh my God. Oh
I
my
think,
God.
like-
Yeah, seriously. Sorry. No one take this
That's
at
why
all.
I was like, how have you not gotten pregnant, I guess?
I love a good pull out.
You do. So that's
Yeah.
your preferred.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I have to do because I can't do birth control pills. They make me absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And I can't do the IUD. So I was just like, he doesn't want to get a vasectomy.
And I
I'm
don't
like,
ever
no.
want to like preach the pull out method at home. Like maybe use a condom or, you know, to the girlies
Not when
out
you're
there.
married. Could you imagine a
No,
married
no, yeah.
couple?
Like
or just
you
in
guys,
general?
but then
Committed, yeah.
what happens at the off chance you get pregnant for a third time?
Oh, we would at that point we're like, it's divine intervention. God wants us to have this third baby because I feel like we like actively trying not to. You know.
But just when I saw the clip, I just felt toward the end again, like there was like this moment of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't a sad moment. It wasn't a happy moment. It was like more like a realization as like, this is where I'm at in my life. Do I like this? Do I miss the party girl Trish? You know, and then there was the constant fake laughing, constantly fake laughing, and I was like, it was like the Jason Nash fake laugh, you know. And a lot of people had a lot to say about the clip too that I found online, and I was like, oh my God, I'm thinking the same thing. This is so interesting. So I'll leave it up to you. You know, maybe I'm off, whatever. At the end of the day, outside looking in, it was a cool moment between a mother and her daughter, you know, and her interacting with it. But it did seem kind of like, where was the, oh, baby, you're so cute, baby. I love you, baby, so much. You know, Rich Lux, hottest news on YouTube. Love you. And I'm out. Bye.